Talk about the National Herald case. The Congress party's defense of Sonia and Rahul Gandhi in the National Herald case is a spectacle of absurdity. So brazen, viewers, it borders on farce. F-A-R-C-E. As the ED charge sheet names them in an alleged money laundering scheme involving crores of National Herald assets, Congress loyalists, the who's who, Digvijaya Singh, Imran Pratapgarhi, Pawan Khera, have presented a defense that defies logic, law, and common sense. Let's start with Digvijay Singh's gem. He says, since 1930, listen to this carefully, the Gandhis have always granted their property to the nation and not even a penny of National Herald assets has been used for personal gain. Viewers, this claim is so detached from reality, it's almost performance art. The ED's charge sheet paints a starkly different picture. Associated Journals Limited, AJL, was taken over by Young Indian, a private company where Sonia and Rahul Gandhi hold a 76% stake for a mere 50 lakh rupees. Properties worth over 2,000 crores. Prime real estate across India were effectively transferred with loans written off and rental income redirected. Digvijay Singh wants us to believe that this was an act of charity, not control. Viewers, the idea that controlling crores in assets through a private entity is not personal gain because, you see, no cash change hands is absurd. It's almost like saying a bank robbery or a bank robber did not steal because he only took the vault, not the money inside. Then there's Imran Pratapgarhi, who drapes the Gandhis in the mantle of sacrifices for the nation as if personal tragedies grant a free pass from accountability. The assassination of Indira Gandhi, Rajiv Gandhi were profound losses. But what do they have to do with allegations of asset misappropriation, charges of corruption? This logic that the family suffered and so they can't be questioned is bizarre. This is absurdity dressed as reverence, a cynical attempt to guilt trip the public into ignoring evidence. The law does not hand out exemptions for martyrdom, and suggesting otherwise insults the very sacrifices Pratapgarhi is trying to invoke. A corruption probe, viewers, is not a history exam. It's about facts, not feelings. No amount of emotional blackmail can obscure the facts. Viewers, then there is Pawan Khera, and he takes the cake with his melodramatic flourish, equating this case against Gandhis today with a British-era hatred of the Congress before 1947. This is absurdity on steroids. By framing an ED probe as a colonial-style vendetta, Pawan Khera is implying that questioning the Gandhis is tantamount to betraying the freedom struggle. To argue that legacy trumps evidence is to, argue for a feudal exemption, where the Gandhi name guarantees impunity. Viewers, the Congress must realize that the Gandhi family is not India, and their legacy is not a shield from the law. This is not defense, it is delusion. The courts will judge Sonia and Rahul Gandhi based on evidence, not certificates from loyalists.
नेहरू गांधी परिवार एक ऐसा परिवार है जिसने 1930 से लेकर आज तक अपनी संपत्ति देश को ही सौंपी है। नेशनल हेरल्ड के केस में एक पैसा भी नेहरू गांधी परिवार ने अपने ऊपर खर्च नहीं किया है।
भाजपा ये भूल जाती है कि ये गांधी परिवार है जिसने इस देश के लिए न जाने कितनी कुर्बानियां दी हैं और इसके खिलाफ पूरे देश में आज कांग्रेस पार्टी प्रदर्शन कर रही है।
1937 में अंग्रेज टारगेट करते थे, अंग्रेज चिढ़ते थे नेशनल हेरल्ड से और गांधी परिवार से और कांग्रेस पार्टी से। आज 2025 में राष्ट्रीय स्वयंसेवक संघ चिढ़ता है गांधी परिवार से और कांग्रेस पार्टी से।
Tehseen, is this the best defense?
Legal defense, which is good. The ED has as much evidence as the most honorable Prime Minister's press conference is zero. They filed a charge sheet mostly based on WhatsApp forwards, which is fine. The ED can change its name to BD or Bajrang Dal and be an arm of the BJP. That's fine. These IPS and IRS officers, fine, people should remember that their loyalty should be to the Constitution of India, not to any political party. I can give you all the defenses and say how this case is going to fall down, which is why repeatedly, despite the courts not quashing the case against the Gandhis, because of course an ED case cannot be quashed. The presumption is you're guilty until you prove yourself innocent. The courts have refused to arrest them. In ED, everybody else gets arrested because there is no evidence. I'll just take 10 seconds more and I'll tell you one last thing. Look, we all know that this case is going to fall down flat. There's going to be no conviction. We know the ED's conviction rate. But the fact is that, as Subhash Chandra Bose said about National Herald, that it was the one paper that gave him a space to write. As this was India's freedom struggle paper, who the British did not like, today the Bharatiya Janata Parties, whose forefathers colluded with the British to hassle the Quit India movement, are today after this national asset, the National Herald.
Try presenting this case in the court. The case will still not be quashed. No, Justice Tehseen Poonawalla, this is not how the law works. I'm sure you know it, but you have to outdo the three people whose reactions we've just played. Obligation to hai, ab kya kare? We understand, but it's okay. Tehseen, it's okay. One can understand, it's okay. It's in the spirit of the debate. Shehzad, why are agencies or your government going after the Gandhi family? Can you not see their sacrifice, contribution, legacy, etc., etc.?
If Tehseen had it his way, he would change the name of ED not from Enforcement Directorate to Entitlement of Dacoity, Entitlement of Dynasty. The first family should have right to loot. Just like Waqf board can take over any property, first family should also have right that they will take over any land or property and nobody can question them. When did this case start, Tehseen Poonawalla? 2012. FIR was registered, directed by Court of Law. Court of Law that time said that young Indian was a sham or a cloak to convert public money worth 2,000 crores through a special purpose vehicle for the first family. Is this vendetta politics? High Court, Supreme Court, not just in the ED case, but in the basic case where the summons have been issued, has also not granted relief to you, except for one personal exemption being denied, saying that personal exemption is not required. No case has been quashed. But that is also vendetta. The courts are doing vendetta. Thereafter, you went in the income tax case, not ED case, income tax case, right up to the Supreme Court. No relief given in income tax reassessment. That is also vendetta. 14 parties went, by the way, in 2023 to Supreme Court saying ED, CBI, hame khatam kar degi. No relief. And Tehseen Poonawalla loves ED. You know when? When they act on Arvind Kejriwal. Arvind Kejriwal loves ED. You know when? When they act on the Congress party in Chhattisgarh. But when the action is on ourselves, that time we hate the ED. Now ED's conviction rate, by the way, Tehseen Poonawalla, is 97%, because out of the 25 cases which went to trial, and courts decide when a matter goes to trial, there have been 23 convictions, so it's 97%. So stop saying lies. In fact, what was only 5,000 crore worth of attachment, today is 1 lakh crore, and none of it has been lifted by the court. But having said that, let me come to a larger point. You know who misused the ED and CBI? My dear friend's leader, Mulayam Singh Yadav ji, has said once that how the CBI was used by the Congress party by filing the disproportionate assets case, and it was during the tenure of BJP and Modi that the disproportionate assets case was closed by the CBI. But last few seconds, Tehseen Poonawalla ek cheez samjha, he's an expert. How Tehseen Poonawalla, please tell me, 2,000 crore worth property with AGL, 1,000 plus freedom fighters are shareholders. None of them are asked Shanti Bhushan, including Mr. Markande Katju. The shares are allotted to Young Indian, which takes over the loan of 90 crores for 50 lakh rupees. This loan has been given by Congress party. Congress party never refuses the loan or waives off the loan when it is.
One minute, Shehzad, I'll sum up your question. वो बोल रहे हैं कैश कहाँ है, पैसा कहाँ ट्रांसफर हुआ?
मैं ही बता रहा हूँ ना. I was just explaining. When the loan is given by Congress to AGL, that time the Congress never waives off the loan. The moment the entire assignment of the loan and the shares are given to the Young Indians, which is also held by Sonia Gandhi, and First Family has 76% shares, immediately the Congress party waives off the 90 crore loans. And then the rental income of the 7-8 properties, which is running into hundreds of crores, is going to the First Family. This is the reality. Special purpose vehicle banakar corporate fraud kiya.
Okay. Converting debt to equity is not a crime. If that was a crime, the present union government would be criminals for converting the debt of Idea Vodafone into equity, point number one. Point number two, except for media statements of two gentlemen, the process of AGL shareholders objecting has been a transparent process through an AGM document.
If that is the case, why have the courts not given relief?
No, they have. I'll give you the legal answer. That's why I didn't argue legally. But since the legal argument's made, allow me to. AGL shareholders were not just consulted. The entire AGM has been recorded and has been put on paper. No Congress member has objected to the 90 crore. Now the ED can come up in its charge sheet and make any claims that it wants. It doesn't matter. The AJL shareholders, Mr. Shanti Bhushan and Markandeya Kajo, apart from media statements, can you show me where is their objections today that is there in the court of law?
5 seconds.
Okay.
5 seconds. First of all, Tehseen Poonawalla, converting debt into equity is not the question here. The fact of the matter is that there were 1,000+ shareholders. Where is the shareholder meeting where you have consulted everybody that now we are going to increase the share capital and pass on 99% and you will be left with 1% shares? Secondly, tell me the Congress party meeting when 90 crore loan was first given to AJL and then it was not waived off when AJL had it, but the moment why I took it for 50 lakh rupees, which was taken from Dotex company, which is a shell company, you have taken the decision, now I'll waive it. Show me the Congress party decision how it was taken. And thirdly, Tehseen Poonawalla, please stop lying. This is not just a question of fraud in this kind of case. In fact, the High Court has said that this transaction shows how a political party is behaving. That is also under scanner. So, political party is headed by Sonia Rahul. AJL is headed by Sonia Rahul Motilal and YI is headed by Sonia Rahul Motilal. So Sonia decided with Sonia that 90 crore loan given by Sonia to Sonia should now be waived off so that Sonia can have 2,000 crore property.
Tushar, this has to be, right up there with Kapil Sibal. So whoever's zero loss theory, debt to equity, you're creating equity out of thin air.
How did they arrive at the valuation? My simple question. How did they arrive at the valuation that a 90 crore loan, one that the AJL has defaulted on, and it's an interest-free loan, has a valuation or a collateral valuation of 5,000 crore worth of properties? I'm telling you, Pranesh, today I have realized something. I was wrong about Pradhan Mantri's Mudra Yojana. Congress was running a Mudra Yojana of its own, where Congress party was giving money to AJL, where shareholding patterns are opaque, and it was giving an interest-free loan, long-term usage, and when they defaulted on the loan, they were saying, don't worry, we'll take over your loan, we'll take over your properties, we'll manage it to you. My simple question, Pranesh, chalo, let's take Congress's argument on face value that YIL was managing AJL. Where is the revival of National Herald? Where is the revival? Where is the money going? I'm saying let's take it on face value that the Gandhis have not pocketed the money. Does it stop the AJL, which is being controlled by the YIL, which is being controlled by the Gandhis, to not make donations to any political party or any foundations that are owned by the Gandhi family? Where is the proof? Where is the financial declaration? Where are the financial statements?
That they will submit in the court. That they will submit in the court. But Mohammad Tariq Khan, Akhilesh Yadav made a curious comment today. उन्होंने कहा कि ED का समय हो गया है, shut down ED.
Means the way their ED is working, means what he is saying, it's right. It seems to be कि आप लोग ये चाह रहे हैं कि कांग्रेस के लोग डिफेंड भी ना करें अब कांग्रेस के लोगों को
डिफेंड करें लेकिन
नहीं करें अभी आपने दिखाया सुन तो लीजिए आप चाहते ये हैं कि कांग्रेस के लोग कांग्रेस को डिफेंड भी ना करें जैसे जब मोदी साहब के ऊपर चार्जेस लगे थे और अमित शाह के ऊपर भी चार्जेस लगे तब सारे भाजपा के लोग ये कहने लगे थे नहीं सही चार्ज हैं इनको सजा दे दो हो जानी चाहिए कांग्रेसी विल डिफेंड देमसेल्फ
दंगा करने कौन है सड़कों
कांग्रेसी विल डिफेंड देमसेल्फ जो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल तरीके हैं उससे वो डिफेंड करेंगे
डिफेंस ने डिल्यूजन है ये बताइए अब तहसीन बोल रही दिस इज डेट टू इक्विटी स्कीम ये अगर किसी वेंचर कैपिटलिस्ट ने सुन लिया तहसीन भी है तो इसमें भी एक नया शुरू हो सकता है वेंचर डेट टू इक्विटी ये नया स्टार्टअप बन जाएगा ये और वो तुषार ने तो बोल ही दिया मुद्रा योजना थी ये कांग्रेस की अपनी गांधी फैमिली के लिए बट ऑपोजिशन ये नैरेटिव बना रहा है कि अगर आपने प्रोब किया अगर तहसीन इतने कॉन्फिडेंट है कि कुछ नहीं है देन व्हाई रिजॉर्ट टू सच थिएट्रिक्स कि फ्रीडम स्ट्रगल में पार्ट थे तो उसका क्या मतलब
नहीं फ्रीडम स्ट्रगल की बात सुन लो प्रणेश जी सरदार पटेल ये 75,000 NH को मिला है ये किन लोगों ने दिया अगले दिन कॉन्ट्रैक्ट मिल गया सरदार पटेल तभी भाग गए थे चंद्रभानु गुप्ता UPCM 3 times they have made it into Nehru's private property I have sold my shares along with Acharya Dev Purushottam Das but Mr. Nehru has taken it so he can become director and the funds have come from Congress and money bags in his book ये तब से ही आप लोगों की मुद्रा योजना के बारे में जानते थे फ्रीडम फाइटर
तहसीन
अब ये भी ईडी में थे क्या तारिक भाई ईडी में थे ये Chandragupta.
We are discussing a case that is in the court of law. We've got everything in except what are the legal charges and water boundary. Debt to equity is an accepted method. Number two, none of the shareholders have taken any rent home, have taken any dividends home. Now the entire argument of the BJP is, somebody...
Where is the question of rent when they have the property? Rent they have...
Pranesh, don't fall into trap. One second.
No. It's not a trap. Even by his logic, where is the question?
Don't fall into trap. Tehseen, tell me one thing. Chalo. You answer. Tehseen, you answer 5 seconds. You answer 5 seconds. Firstly, tell me that the 8 or 9 big properties which were earning crores of rupees rent, where is that rent? Show it either in the AJL books or show it in the Young Indian books, if it's not gone to anybody privately. Secondly, please tell me, Tehseen Poonawalla, debt to equity. 2,000 crore property takes a debt of 90 crores and in 50 lakh rupees assigns it with the property. ऐसा debt to equity मुझे लाके दो ना तहसीन भाई. एक लाके तो दो.
I'm also waiting. I'm also waiting. I'm sure Tariq Khan will also not say no. Tehseen, we've run out of time. I'm sorry. We'll have this. अब ये चल रहा है sir. अब ये चलेगा कल परसों. Tehseen, you'll have time, please. Nothing against you. We've run out of time, viewers. The news hour with Navika Kumar on the other side.